dealt with them for years with the crocodiles.
Put a lot of time into getting these permits, getting these animals. So for them to come take them away would just be ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So as you can see here is one of the animals we haven't showed you yet. This is a Mexican beaded lizard. So we're gonna go ahead and put him on the ground. And then this is the horridum. So there's also the exasperatum and the alvarezi.
It's actually really cool for the lizards.
Yeah, and this is perfect. So he's actually gonna enjoy this ground because sometimes we'll take him out, he'll do like a little belly rub. So we'll see if he picks up on that.
Belly rub?
Yeah, he'll put all his four legs out and he'll just kind of shake his body. What he usually does on the grass, so we'll see if he makes his way over there.
Ooh, he's getting angry at the camera.
He's like, what are you doing?
All right, Ryan. So not only are we here to see a beaded lizard, but
Yes,
we're here to talk about the new laws that everyone are talking about.
New laws here in Florida. So let's get into that. I did have the beaded lizard because obviously you guys want to see something cool, right? You want to see a reptile when we talk about this. But there are new laws being into place, as well as people interpreting the new laws a little bit different and maybe not so accurate. So first of all, let me grab them up so we have a nice little lizard to talk about. So beaded lizards are actually on the venomous list. So you actually need a permit for these in the state of Florida, which I have. In the state of Florida, there was some rumors going around that the new law that banned green iguanas and tegus also made it to where you can't own venomous reptiles as personal pets. That is incorrect. So I talked to my Fish and Wildlife officer today, actually, and you might be wondering why we put out two videos back to back. Well, we felt we needed to get this video out there. So I talked to him today. One thing that I heard from him, so his name is Eric, he's my investigator. He wasn't too up to date on the laws because I guess they hadn't trickled down yet in the chain of command. So he called his supervisor and he actually got back to me. So the thing is, they did not change the laws on venomous reptiles. They also, for conditional species, there were some rumors going around that if you had conditional species, you had 90 days to get rid of them or they euthanize them. I'm not sure of how those people were getting their permits before for the conditional species permits. Oh, actually, check this out, guys.
I was gonna say.
So he's like, ooh, this is nice. So you can see his feet kind of moving back a little bit, so.
Of course he stopped, right?
Yeah, oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
So he's getting a nice rub.
Yeah, look at that. He's loving it. That is so cool. All right,
so back to some legal mumbo jumbo. So, the conditional species, where is that? Well, I actually applied for my conditional species permit probably, I started the application process back in, I want to say March is when I started that, maybe even February. And at that time, to get conditional species, get the permit under your class 3 permit, you had to be open to the public. So you had to do something educational wise. You couldn't just have them as personal pets at that time. And that's kind of what people are talking about now is the conditional species you can't have as pets. Well, they had already started making that change. So the law that just went into effect July 1st isn't really new in those regards. You had to have the educational reasons. So for us here at the sanctuary, all the conditional species that are coming in are going to be educational animals for the sanctuary.
Now another question is it that you have to be 9 to 5 open to the public, or I mean, you know, does private tours count?
Yeah.
I mean, does YouTube count? So there's a lot.
The YouTube thing's a super gray area. When I talked to my inspector today, he mentioned YouTube as one of our educational things. So that's kind of something that needs to be brought up to attention because that's a big deal if YouTube's going to count or not. Yeah,
because so many people do YouTube now, like, you know, Kenan and Chandler were talking about,
yeah.
You know.
And even like Tyler does YouTube, but he operates out of his house. He's educating thousands of people on a weekly basis. I mean, his videos, I mean, a lot of these guys on YouTube, I would argue, reach more of an audience and educate more people than standard sanctuaries and open to public places, just because it's a lot easier if you're in Canada or Alaska to go on your computer, look up some of these guys, look up the animals and learn about and watch a video than it is to travel all the way to Florida to come do an educational facility. So that's still a gray area.
Yeah, and I'd even say that, you know, YouTube videos is still public exhibition.
Yes.
You're still viewing the animal, just not in person. So
Yeah.
you're still exhibiting that animal to the public, but just as a different method.
I would completely agree. And as far as the 9 to 5 thing, so here at the sanctuary, I mean, Kyle, we're not doing a 9 to 5.
We're not doing a 9 to 5.
We're doing private tours. Same as like over at McCarthy's Wildlife Sanctuary. They're not technically a 9 to 5. They do, I think, 3 tours a day.
Yeah, and that's what we're thinking of doing as well.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, everyone we've talked to with FWC has said that that will suffice for the conditional species and for education. So I think everyone that is in a situation where the conditional species change or whatever that rule is going to affect that. Everyone it's case by case. Go talk to your inspector, go talk to FWC, actually reach out to someone at the office, because for us per se, having private tours is seems like it's going to suffice for the conditional species from what the new laws are. However, with the new laws, there were some changes that are a really big deal. So they completely banned green iguanas and all species of tegus. And with that, he's kind of walking away over here.
Yep. Another reason why this is, I mean, this is the very reason why we built this, is just to see these guys roam around.
Exactly.
All right, sorry to cut you off again.
So they prohibited green iguanas and all species of tegus, which is a huge deal because those animals were not regulated at all prior. They went from, you can go to PetSmart and pick one up, to all of a sudden, no more, you're actually a criminal if you have one. You need to get a grandfather permit, and as soon as that animal dies, you can no longer get more, and you can't breed them. So that I personally feel like that's a little bit of an overreach and a huge not overreaction, because they are doing harm to the environment when they're out, but I think there is a better way to go about that.
Well, you got to think of it too. I don't know if I should be on the camera or what, but that's kind of, just want to make sure we're both on the shot. But another thing too you got to think about is, like you said, essentially you're a criminal after 90 days.
Yeah.
What are people going to do with those animals? They're going to release them. So you're actually making it far worse, because now these animals, a lot of these animals were kept properly, and now they're going to be just released in the wild and feed the problem that caused this.
Yeah.
That caused this law. And also too, with iguanas and tegus, there's morphs. So it's much like the red ear sliders that, you know, we could even push to where there's a morph exemption. So
100%. And right now there's not a morph exemption, which is ridiculous, because I mean, if you've ever seen an albino green iguana, there's no way that thing's going to survive in the wild. It can barely walk around its cage. Yeah. And also, if you're not in Florida, guys, believe it or not, this is going to affect you no matter where you're at, because Florida is the #1 producer of green iguanas and tegus nationwide, if not international. Most animals that you guys see in stores that you go and buy are from Florida stock. So if that happens, I always relate it to like green anacondas. Green anacondas, back in 2012, 2013, you could go get them for 150 bucks. You could buy captive born ones even. I bought a female captive born for $150. Then they got put on CITES, and their prices now, you can't find one for less than $1,000. That's gonna happen with tegus and iguanas based off having no one else producing them.
And these laws also came forth very quickly, so it is scary for the industry as a whole, especially for Florida here, because who's to say it doesn't trickle down to venomous and crocodilians and
it's a slippery slope, and we do need to fight this. And luckily there are organizations like USARK Florida that are specifically fighting this, because look, if they're going to ban green iguanas and tegus, there's nothing stopping them from banning a beaded lizard like this. I mean, even like a cobra, like there's nothing stopping them from doing that. So we need to let them know that this is not okay. For us to have these animals, like for Venomous, you have to have 1,000 hours per family group, and one year minimum experience, and 2 people in Florida with license have to sign off on your experience, knowing, like, they have to vouch for you.
And so then there's inspections every 6 months.
We have inspections every 6 months. We got to keep up on inventory. So there's no reason. So we put a lot of time into getting these permits, getting these animals. So for them to come take them away would just be ridiculous. I mean, as you can see with this beaded lizard, this is a venomous lizard. I've had him since he was a baby, and he's never once tried to bite me. Not saying they can't, but the most dangerous thing about him is his claws. He's scratching the crap out of me, guys.
And like you said, Ryan, is USARK. If you guys want to please, if you guys can donate to usark.org, A-R-K.
And specifically the Florida subsection, which is usarkflorida.org.
And like you said, it's not just only Florida that it affects. It's going to affect the entire nation.
Everybody. But I did want to clarify it, because like kind of clear up what is going on, because I'm one of those people that when something happens, react to it as it is, not worse than it is and not better than it is. Just kind of react as is. So as stated now, Venomous are not being affected by this new law. Conditional seem to be on the same kind of regulations that they were going for a couple months ago when I applied for my permit. Didn't seem like anything changed there. Yeah. But green iguanas and all tegus are prohibited now, which is
and like Chandler and Kenan said in their video, we are not bad-mouthing Fish and Wildlife Commission at all. We're not saying they did wrong with this. You know, we're just trying to work with them more and you know, show that there are proper keepers out there for these animals. And you know, we have a lot of experience. I mean, Ryan, you talk to them almost every single day. I've dealt with them for years with the crocodiles. So the biggest thing is, guys, is to just, you know, obviously not react emotionally about this, but just, you know, stress your concerns to Fish and Wildlife Commission, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, about these new laws.
And we have to be respectful with this too, because if you go about it writing all sorts of nasty emails and kind of freaking out and coming out with pitchforks and torches, that's just going to make us look bad.
It paints a bad light on the reptile.
FWC is going to be like, these guys are a bunch of crazy people. Why do we want to do anything for them? But if we come at them like respectful human beings as they are, they're just doing a job too. If we talk to them and kind of voice our opinions in a respectful manner, maybe we can come up to some sort of agreement that's mutually beneficial to everyone and also addresses the environmental factors that these irresponsible keepers have led to and also accidents have led to. Because like you're saying earlier, I mean, if someone's got a green iguana in their apartment and they hear FWC's coming to their door to confiscate the iguana, arrest them, or give them a $500 fine, they're just gonna let the iguana go. They're not gonna deal with it. As soon as they'll throw it out the window if they need to. They'll get rid of that animal in trying to get out of a fine. So that's just kind of creating a bigger problem. And I mean, honestly, guys, green iguanas are so plentiful here that they're probably not going away. And I saw even with this law, you can't even take them.
They are here to stay. They are here to stay for sure. And that's the thing too, is then there's always going to be a demand for green iguanas because they are great beginner pets. So you got to think about, well, is the importation going to fire up again? Because obviously with so much commercial production down here of captive born babies, if that gets shut down, then what are we going to do? Start importing again? Look at them rubbing up against the leaf litter. And that's the last thing we want, you know, is them to start pulling them from the wild. All right, guys, I hope you learned a little thing or two about the new laws that are in place in the state of Florida.
Yeah, and we just wanted to get some information out there. I mean, there's been a lot going around, so hopefully we're able to clear some things up. Venomous are not affected by this new law. However, green iguanas and tegus are a huge hit to this. So go support USARK Florida. We'll put the link in the bio and just do anything you can, because this is going to affect everyone. And we love these animals, and we love bringing them to you guys' attention and educating you guys on these guys. And the only way we're going to do that is if in the state of Florida we're allowed to have permits for these animals. So go let Fish and Wildlife know that these are important to you guys, and YouTube is a main source of education. But besides that, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See you guys.